Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today. Sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we're talking Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 26. And I just gotta say again, please stop sending hate and unalive threats to Shelly and Alondria. Y'all are being some serious hypocrites out here. Some serious hypocrites out here. If Alondria and Shelly were mean girls, production would have exposed it a long time ago. Wouldn't have had to take no 26 episodes, y'all. But it was okay when Huda, an unambiguous, non-black woman, was running terror, running wild through the villa, saying all types of things, calling Jeremiah all types of names, and cussing out all the bombshells and everything else, and y'all ate it up. Y'all said y'all were a fan of Huda. This was giving y'all baddies that y'all needed. This was giving all types of, Real Housewives, Love and Hip Hop type of drama, and now we're here where everybody hates each other now. Everybody hates each other. So I just wanted to say that. So we get into the episode, you guys, and Amaya basically is like, listen, look at here. Zach isn't feeling me. He is not feeling me. He is treating me like a friend. And I always felt that Zach with a K chose Amaya because he felt that she was the easiest person to get into the villa. He knew that Alondria was tunnel vision on Taylor, but he knew that he could, extend his stay longer in the villa with Amaya because she has been struggling in her connections. So, and again, it's not lost on me that this is somebody who is good friends with Miguel. Miguel's other good friend, Louis, is on every single dating show known to man on Netflix, y'all. So nonetheless, these are Miguel's friends, which tells me what type of time everybody's on, right? So I already knew from jump who Zach with the K was about, and he was not about Amaya. We also get, you guys, we get this foursome that producers are trying to force down our throats. So the night before, Nick and, Sierra have more sex. TJ and Iris, they are getting no screen time, y'all. So they're like, hey, we're going to pitch a tent. We're going to pitch a tent outside in Soul Ties and also have sex, y'all. But anyways, the next day, that morning, y'all, they're like, we're going to make breakfast. We're going to eat as a foursome, da-da-da-da-da. And they're sitting there gossiping about everybody, how Shelly and Ace aren't that good. They're looking at the Zach and Amaya conversation. Amaya's crying and all this and all of that. And I'm like, y'all mad weird for this. Y'all mad weird for this. Shelly and Huda still aren't talking. And I'm at the point now, I have a feeling that production told Shelly not to talk to Huda. It is just my suspicion with how overproduced this season is. I think production told Shelly, I know you wanted to pull her for a chat, but we got something else to where you can put this all on blast. That's what I think. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it, y'all. Because I don't think Shelly is this horrible person as y'all want to make it seem. So also we have a conversation. I noticed too that Alondria and Shelly have been a duo, and now all of a sudden Sierra's in the mix, and I don't know if it has to do with this Nick and Alondria thing or what it is, but Sierra for some reason is pushing on to Alondria that she needs to continue to keep Taylor in the background, and I'm like, for why? Keep Taylor in the background for what? And then we get a shot of the Casa girls. The Casa girls, they all see that, Taylor is showing way more affection and everything else with Clark, and they are surprised. What is there to be surprised about? When a man is interested in you, he will show you. I don't know what's going on in Alondria's head that she cannot let go of Taylor. And she keeps thinking that they're going to be living off in the ranch together in the sunset, or there was a pact made, there was an alliance made with Shelly and Ace and potentially Nick and Sierra that, hey, we're all going to go to the inn together. And she looks as Taylor reneging on all that. I don't know, but her attachment to him still is crazy. Her and Zach with the K had a great conversation, and she's still trying to have Taylor in the background. There's no reason to have him in the background. Shelly and Ace, it looks like they have appeared to make up, but nobody showed us the actual making of the up. We see Ace bring Shelly breakfast, and he goes even more outrageous with the flowers and everything else as Huda looks on, and it is cracking me up because here's the thing. Huda was calling out Jeremiah when her and Jeremiah were a thing, saying that she wished Jeremiah was doing the gestures that Ace was doing for Shelly. So for those of y'all that think Shelly is jealous of Huda, why would she be? When Huda is the one in all of the couples she is with comparing how the men are treating Shelly compared to her. It has always been a thing, y'all. It has always been a thing. But none of the less, we also get a shot where Shelly and Ace are playing ping pong and having a good time and having laughter. And I'm just like, so we're just not going to show them making up, right? Brian pulls Jaden for a chat, so he's into her. Pepe basically is cool on Grayson. Grayson's trying to figure out what's wrong. Why isn't there a spark there? Everything else. Pepe, I don't understand why we friend zone Adrina if you didn't have a spark either with Grayson. Like, it's all just really weird. It's giving. You still might have feelings for Hannah Banana. And my thing is, why not just go home if that's the case so y'all can be together, right? So the big climax of this episode, the main point of this episode is this new game, right? Because we're looking for the Twitter challenge still, right? We're looking on the Twitter challenge because there are some people still into Lulu, right? But basically, the villa was like, listen, look in here. The producers were like, look in here. We're going to have a stand-on business challenge. We're going to put some postcards in the mail. And you can write as many postcards as you want. You can either sign, seal, and deliver it with your name, or you can do it anonymously. And here's my thing, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, right? Y'all know I have no problem saying what I want to say, whether y'all agree or disagree. I have no problem saying what I need to say, whether y'all agree or disagree. All I ask is y'all be respectful. So, of course, I would put my name on it. For what? What do we need to hide for? Anything I'm going to say to your face or whatever else, I'm going to say it. The problem is people don't want to hear the truth. And that's the problem with this villa. That is why this villa has been hiding behind Friendship Island all these weeks and has been hiding behind Girl Code and Sisterhood. But it was all a farce. It was all a farce, and they all hate each other. They are all sick of each other. That is the tea. And that has been the tea. They are fed up with each other, you guys. It's not rocket science. Nobody's being bullied. Nobody's being isolated. People are sick of each other as a whole. So you see all of this shifting around in friendships. Huda's been reduced to now hanging out with the Casa girls because the OG girls are sick of her. But according to Hannah, I'm going to keep referencing this, she said her and Shelly have called out Huda plenty of times. That she has been cussing out Amaya and Iris and all these people in the villa on behalf of defending Jeremiah. And Jeremiah ain't even here no more, right? So, nonetheless, you guys, we now get to this stand-on business challenge, right? Because everybody's commiserating and saying who they might call out and everything else. Some people said they'll put their name on it. Some people don't. So Austin goes up first, y'all. And somebody says, I don't know how you made it this far in this game. Adrina mentions her. And Austin was like, listen, look at here. I don't know how far I made it either. And then also, you know, there was a conversation about feeling as though Austin really isn't putting in that much effort with the girls and doing the bare minimum. And that's from what Andrina's seen in the episodes. And, you know, I didn't see where the lie was. Jaden tried to defend him, but it wasn't really convincing. We don't see their connection. We don't see them doing anything. So I'm inclined to believe there's nothing. We then get to Pepe. we get to Pepe, y'all, because Sierra goes up there, and this is what I mean when producers interfere. When producers interfere and they start to push their campaign of who in the couples they want to win. And it's obvious they started their Nick and Sierra campaign yesterday with them having the date, with them having them close off and everything else in the previous episode. And now we fast forward to the Stand on Business challenge, and y'all don't have anything that y'all getting whacked for. Y'all don't have anything y'all getting dragged for. The most y'all get dragged about is how loud y'all have sex, which I don't even understand if it's only lasting 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Oh, we got to 60 seconds this time. No. That's the worst of it. Then I had a problem because Pepe sent a note to Sierra and was like, why did you, Shelly, and Sierra send Hannah home? As if Huda was not right there. And this is why I'm saying we need to see these deliberations, y'all. We need to see the deliberation that led to Hannah's dumping and the deliberation that led to Jeremiah's dumping, because I feel like certain people are being protected. Because I feel like if Ace was leading the charge for Jeremiah to go, y'all would have shown that, no problem. I feel like if Shelly and Alandria were leading the charge for Hannah to go home, y'all would lead that, no problem. But the way Sierra spoke, because it made 0 sense, it sounded like basically we felt Hannah explored 2 connections, so she was good to go. Amaya didn't have a good experience in here, fine. Iris was, kind of the newish girl, so we feel that she should have got a fair experience, which normally in other seasons she would have been dumped. Because they would have just got rid of the newest person and said, see you later, right? We'll focus in on the people who are building actual connections. But I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. 2 people had the most to gain of Hannah being dumped, and that was Huda and that was Sierra. Pepe and Hannah were a guaranteed final spot for the show. They were a guaranteed final spot, and she would have made the final 2 with her and Charlie. Because there is an audience, there was a demographic that were Hannah fans. And they would have voted to get her to that end. And pretty much her couples were pretty much unproblematic. So, when her and Charlie got together, got on, a lot of people were feeling it, but really there wasn't much of substance there. But then she really connected with Pepe. She really connected with Pepe, and that was a threat to Sierra winning the show. Y'all keep forgetting. See, as much as y'all want to talk about Shelly and Ace scamming or make allegations about these other islanders, y'all forget that Sierra is good friends with Cassie from season 5 as well as Johnny from season 5. And here is the problem. Here's the problem, which basically resulted in this Stand on Business challenge, is that Sierra now knows, because of her After Sun appearance, she was on an After Sun appearance this past Saturday with Amaya. Who was on the guest panel? Her good friend Cassie, y'all. Her good friend Cassie. So they already know, with them calling, with how nice they were to Amaya, how they were directing a lot of the questions to Amaya, Sierra knows America likes Amaya. So now she's playing into that, right? Now she's playing into that, and now she's feeling herself, because now that her and Nick are the only couple that is closed off and has had a date, she feels as though this is for them to lose, right? This competition is for them to lose. She's already counting the 100K. She thinks that if she goes on TikTok right now, there's going to be a bunch of edits of her and Nick. And it's a lot of edits of her and Nick looking disinterested and checked out of the process, you guys. But I believe, for wholeheartedly, she had the most to gain. Her and Huda had the most to gain of Hannah being out of here, because that was their finale spots that was in jeopardy. And Hannah and Pepe getting along and them progressing and everything else pretty quickly, that was too much of a threat for them. So they had to be broken up. And that's it. And that's on period. That's what happened. So then, you guys, we then get to Amaya. Amaya gets called out, I think, for snoring. She's trying to figure out who said it or whatever else. And, Ace says that he called her out. Then also, somebody didn't put their name on it, but said Amaya did too much crying. And she says she couldn't help it if she was emotional and everything else. She wears her heart on her sleeve. And then here comes Zach with a K, piping up, y'all. Piping up. And then all of the guys start to gang up on her and say that you do too much, you're too intense, you move too fast. Austin's really piping up, y'all. And Zach is like, this is what I'm trying to say, this and that. And Ace is like, when you say babe and everything else, like, that's off-putting. And I shout out to Brian, because Brian was like, listen, looky here, in Hispanic households, we refer to each other as mi amor, as baby, as this and that. As that's our terms of endearment. It is nothing to take personal. We're not trying to wife you up or, or any of those things. That's just how we talk. That's our way of our language of how we speak to each other, y'all. And Amaya, she was really upset because Zach took that moment, Zach with a K, to basically break things off with her. And I thought that was nasty work. To use that opportunity to not only pile on to Amaya, but to use that to break up their connection in front of everybody, in front of 20 some odd people. And Amaya's like, listen, looky here, you could have broke things off with me when we were talking earlier today, but for you to do this in front of all of us, that's trash. That is trash behavior. So Amaya runs off crying, and Sierra takes a while to get up to walk over to help her, as well as Ace attempts to get up, but then they tell Ace to get back because, like, you said some wild stuff. Now, although Shelly didn't get up, Shelly was holding Zach with a K accountable in the background, and she was telling him, listen, looky here, you did too much right there. You need to just leave it alone. You did way too much piling on. It was unnecessary. It was uncouth. It was inappropriate. All of that, right? All that. And so nonetheless, she's crying. So Sierra and eventually Huda go over to console her and everything else, y'all. And so this is my problem, y'all, too, right? Y'all can like Amaya, y'all can vote for her, but it's clear as day she's kind of in this Huda category now, where these men are going to come in and use her for safety to get into the villa. And they are going to pretend to be interested at first, then eventually they are going to reference previous behavior. But my thing is, everybody is saying the same thing, and my thing is, for Amaya, your man's not in this villa, because if multiple men now are saying that you're too intense, whether it's coming from Ace, whether it's coming from Austin or Zach with a K, that means that these type of men that is in this cast this season, they don't know how to deal with you. They don't know how to handle you. And they feel that your emotions that you feel is a superpower, they feel as a hindrance to them. And they use it as a cop-out to not fool with you. Now, the connection I actually did enjoy, Amaya, was the way Chris actually hyped you up. I thought Chris had really nice things to say to you when y'all were talking at Casa Amor. I thought that would be a good connection for you, and unfortunately, there could have been a potential there with you and Jalen. But I think you and Austin, for whatever reason, decided y'all would partner up, and I didn't understand it because I wasn't seeing it, right? But nonetheless, that was it for Amaya. So then, you guys, we get to, Ace gets called out by Austin regarding the Jeremiah elimination. Now, here's the thing. Right message, wrong messenger. Because the problem is, Austin does not have the cojones to go toe-to-toe with Ace and really stand on business. Basically, the whole point of it all was like, listen, looky here, Jeremiah was D if he did, D if he didn't, right? And, we didn't really... what y'all came for him for or whatever else. And so Ace said, listen, look at here, I'm 5 foot something, I'm standing on business and everything else. Everybody knows that Jeremiah was love bombing people. And this is where it got messy. He calls out Adrina. Adrina, did Jeremiah love bomb you? And she was like, yeah. I hope that's a misdirect, because I don't think Jeremiah's gonna like that. And I was like, I don't know if that was a good idea. And so, but basically he used that example to justify them, getting rid of Jeremiah. And I think that was a cop-out. But the thing was, Nick and Taylor, they were not going to back Austin in that scenario because they ride for Ace. So that was going to be a non-starter. Then also, you guys, there was a question, I think it came from Amaya, why he would not close things off with Shelly. And so basically Ace was like, well, that's because he put it back on to Shelly basically and was like, well, that's because, she doesn't want to close things off. And Shelly's like, but y'all were the one that was like, we all need to be Dora the Explorer. But now all of a sudden, when you don't have another connection, now I'm the bad guy. So there's that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Ace and Shelly, but I think they need to wrap it up by the next episode, or it might be curtains for them, because what the Yonsei. So, then there was, basically Shelly had, said, hey, we need to have some boundaries if we're going to be exploring. And Ace is upset about this because it's like, well, why should we set boundaries if we're not going to be closed off? But I feel like what Shelly is trying to say is that you can't be going balls to the wall, like with what happened with Huda at that heart rate challenge, that they won't show us the unedited clip of what really went down, and then talk about you're all about me. Kissing everybody in the challenge all up and down, but then saying you're all about me, you want to close things off. There's a way to be respectful. See, that's the point where you pull a Bella and you kiss everybody on the cheek and you be respectful. Or how, like, nobody was kissing Nick in that challenge because they were being respectful to Sierra. That is how you move when you're showing, hey, I'm all in with you. I'm locking in with you. I'm not trying to be going ham in these challenges no more with these other people. Because now I've already kissed all these people already for the past 4 weeks. Like, why do I need to do another round again? So I think that's what Shelly was saying, but Ace wasn't hearing it because Shelly still is entertaining Chris, even though it sounds like basically Chris has given Shelly the silent treatment since coming back to the villa, right? So then we get to Shelly as well, and the Casa guys are trying to call her out and trying to accuse her of playing Chris or whatever else. And she's like, no, I didn't play Chris. Chris said that he was going to do all these things, had all these intentions that he said he was going to do when he was at Casa Amor. Ever since we've been back into the villa, he has not, done any of that, right? And I'm going to take it a step further. He met with Ace and said, listen, man to man, I'm going to talk to your girl. I'm going to mess with your girl and everything else. But none of the less, you haven't been doing anything other than you made me breakfast that one day that caused all this other issues, but you haven't talked to me. You haven't spent any time with me. So Shelly felt a certain type of way. Then something else came from Huda about being a girl's girl and everything else. And this is why I feel like production told, Huda and Shelly to air y'all stuff out at this challenge so that they could have some drama. And, essentially Shelly was trying to explain that you said that you're about being a girl's girl and all this and all this. And unfortunately that's not the case. Y'all not standing on business. You set this tone with Jeremiah that nobody was allowed to talk to him. Nobody was going to deal with him. We don't even know what Jeremiah's tongue tasted like because you set that boundary. We couldn't talk to Jeremiah like that, or you were going to cuss us out. You were going to burn this villa down. But then when the shoe is on the other foot, now when you're the person who is single, everything is up on the table. Anything can go, right? And that is the piece that, people aren't feeling. So none of the less that happens. And, Huda's like, well, listen, looky here. I'm sorry. I don't, if you're not going to forgive me, then it is what it is. Right. But it's weird because I felt like Huda kept flip-flopping on this. At the beginning of the episode, she wanted to take accountability. Oh, that was one scene I forgot to mention. Her and Nick had this scene earlier in the episode where he was trying to get her side of things and play producer, and it was weird. And, she was like, I was wrong. I see that I was wrong. And it was weird because it was like, Nick, like, you don't even like Huda. You tried to get her up out this house twice. So why are you facilitating this conversation? Like, it was very bizarre. So then, you guys, we get to Chris. Chris is being accused of just using people to get into this villa. And I think it's true. I know some people don't want to hear it, but you said you were all about Shelly. You were Team Shelly this whole time, and now all of a sudden you want to switch up, talking about you don't like to chase people. No. You gotta show Shelly why she needs to dump Ace. Now, here's what I think Shelly is not saying. I actually don't think she's actually mad at Huda. I think she could care less about the Huda situation. I think she is mad that she actually has some feelings for Chris, but she doesn't know how to navigate it this late in the game. She probably feels a certain way that Chris was not an OG, or Chris didn't come in as an initial bombshell, and I agree with that sentiment. That he should have came in much earlier, so that way Shelly didn't have to suffer through this foolishness between Ace and Austin all these weeks. So that way her and Chris could have really truly explored something and had something legit. The problem now is we're at the end of the show. We got less than a couple of weeks left, and either you're all in with Ace at this point or you give Chris a try, but basically you don't know where you're going to stand with the public, because she doesn't know that we would vote for her to win with Chris if she ditched Ace. She doesn't know that America hates Ace, but she'll find out in a couple of business days, or maybe she'll find out last night or tonight or whatever. But none of the less, Shelly doesn't have that intel, right? So that's what she's struggling with. She wants Chris, but she also wants Chris to put in the work and put in the effort to let her know, like, put in the same energy that you were putting in Casa Amor. Don't just check out and flake out on me and expect me to read your mind. But she just didn't articulate that, unfortunately. So I was trying to do it for y'all. But that's essentially was that. Then you guys, we get to Huda. She's got a stack or whatever else. And again, she's called out about not being a girl's girl. She's called out about how she's treated people. They call out the fact that she was mean to Iris and other people. Iris is co-signing Shelly that, she was mean to all the bombshells and it wasn't cool. And now you're trying to be a hypocrite now when it comes to you. And it's just like, you're not standing on business. And that's all that I'm talking about, right? So then Alandria reveals a secret to defend her bestie, Shelly. And she's like, well, how can you say that you're a girl's girl and everything else, but yet you kiss Chris at the speakeasy and everything else? So how are you really a girl's girl and you're saying that you brought Chris here for Shelly, but you kiss him in the speakeasy? And so Huda is pissed. And she's like, I told you that in confidence. I told you that in thinking that I could trust you with information and all of this and all of that. Like, how dare you? How dare you? And so Chris was pissed too, and Alandria was like, well, it's out there now. And I don't even think Shelly even cared. Shelly's whole point is the hypocrisy of it all and the fact that Chris hasn't done what he said he was going to do in the villa as it pertains to her, but had the audacity to go man to man with Ace, but not do anything after that to show his interest for Shelly. So that happens, right? So, but I found it funny that Huda was pissed off, talking about she wasn't going to tell anybody anything else ever again, and stormed off and threw the postcards, because you told the whole villa when y'all had the door challenge for the recoupling and Jeremiah didn't choose you and he chose Iris. You told everybody that Jeremiah didn't like Iris, that he wasn't really attracted to Iris, and that she was just a safe choice. She was just a safe bet for him. And Huda was crazy, basically. Like, you put all that on blast and you twisted Jeremiah's words there a little bit. So you have no problem airing other people out when things do not go your way, or you do not get the reaction that you wanted, or you don't get the attention that you wanted. But now all of a sudden when somebody puts you out there, now all of a sudden it's a problem. No. All is fair in Love Island, y'all. Oh, everything always comes out one way or the other on Love Island. And my thing is this: Chris and or Huda should have been told Shelly about that kiss. It shouldn't have had to come out in a challenge. If you were really a girl's girl and were a good friend, Alandria got a point there, because you might not have liked the way it came out, but she got a point there. You can't keep saying this is a sisterhood, everybody's a girl's girl, but then you're making out with the person that also is interested in your girl, and you don't tell her about it, but you tell me, who I'm her bestie. Like make it make sense. So the grand finale of it all is Taylor. Taylor gets in front of the class, you guys, and he's got a stack of postcards. And it's a hot mess express, you guys. It is an absolute hot mess express. Basically, Alandria lets out all of her frustration for the past 3 weeks of everything they were trying to build. How can you feel this way after a couple of days with Clark and all of this and all of that after everything we built? And Taylor was like, listen, she makes me feel like a kid. She makes me feel, and she was like, well, how old are you? And he said how old he was. And she was like, well, that's not a kid or whatever. I was like, it was funny to me. I was laughing. But he said, listen, like I think what he should have just said was that he doesn't feel like there has to be pressure. He needs to say what he said yesterday. He doesn't feel like there has to be pressure. He doesn't have to be on his P's and Q's. His whole life, his whole future isn't planned out. Like they're going to get married, have 2.4 kids and have the white picket fence and all of this and all of that. He can just be chill. He can just vibe. He doesn't have to feel like he has to be doing all this stuff. But my issue with Taylor, you've had multiple opportunities to shut this down with Alandria, and you did not. You breadcrumbed her. You gave her just a little bit enough to say, hey, I'm still interested in you. Hey, I'm still exploring you. And then you pulled the madman move when Jalen came into the villa and basically all of a sudden wanted to be affectionate with her for 2 business days. And, so she chose you instead of Jalen. And then you went back to giving her absolutely nothing. Ace had to direct you to do stuff for Alandria. Meanwhile, with Clark, you give her compliments, all the time. You hug her, kiss her all the time. You were not giving that type of energy with Alandria. But I wish you would have just told Alandria that from jump, but you basically admit in this challenge that you were not keeping Alandria safe, for no other reason. Like it wasn't your duty to keep her safe, which told me as long as you were safe, you were willing to fake it with Alandria. You were using her for your safety, for your benefit. And now when somebody who is your type or somebody that you feel you're into now you don't feel like you need Alandria, but you didn't have the cojones to say that until Alandria put you on the spot and basically said, because somebody was messy. Somebody else sent a postcard and said to Taylor, make up your DAMN mind. And I was like, uh-oh, who sent that? Was it Nick? Was it Jaden? Who sent that card, right? Because I feel like it might have been a Casa girl. I don't know. But they kept panning the camera over to Nicolas. So I don't know who it was. But he was like, fine. He was like, nobody. And he asked, okay, is anybody going to admit to who sent this? Nobody admitted that it was them that sent it. And so he was like, so nobody's going to admit to it. Okay. So I'll make my decision then. I choose Clark. So, but this is like the second or third time that Taylor has publicly humiliated, Alandria like this. So is she still going to hold on and think that there's some type of silver lining? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, you guys? Is what I want to know. So hopefully this is, the wake-up call Alandria needed. That's how the episode ends. People have out their pitchforks for Alandria and Shelly, and I just find it disgusting. They're losing thousands of followers, you guys, over last night's episode. And screw Love Island for, pretending not to see it and acting like they only want to talk about cyberbullying and everything else when it pertains to Huda. But when it comes to these other islanders, y'all don't care. And the Huda redemption arc is successful because here's the thing. I still don't think Chris is into her like that. I really don't. They'll be over when the show's over. They'll be over when this show is over. He is only pushing things up a notch with Huda because he can't get with Shelly. And I wish Huda saw that, but she doesn't see that, right? She's just happy that she's getting attention. So nonetheless, she's going to rock with it and roll with it, right? But if Jeremiah was still up in that villa, she would still be trying to talk to him because that's the finest man she's ever seen. So there is that. That is it. That is all for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.